a little bit. Anyway, Killing for Company. Alright, so I wanted to do the Get to Know Your Collection. I guess it was started by Mercyful Metal. I'll link to the first video, so thanks for starting this thread here. I thought this would be sort of a quick and easy thing to jump in and participate in anyway. So I think how I'm going to do this is, I think it goes in, there's 3 levels to it, where the first part is something very recent. So for the record I chose for that is like within 2024, one that I need to spend more time with. And after that, 2 records that are relatively recent, and then 3 records that you have no idea what they sound like, you know, maybe from the distant past. So how I'll do that, I'll kind of do like a live listen. I thought that'd be fun to do, is just kind of like, I'll edit it and all that stuff, but kind of do like a quick reaction as we get deeper into this list, and that way we can see kind of like what you think about it while I'm listening to it. So anyway, we'll get into the first one here, and that is, I got this pretty late in 2024. Maybe would have made my end of year list, but the latest by Bitch, band out of Michigan, playing some trad stuff. So let's put this on, and you know, I've got a chance to spin it, but it's one of those things where it comes in at the end of the year, and so you're like getting ready for 2025 records, especially now that I'm contributing for Heavy Metallurgy. Like, I kind of do a pretty good job of staying pace with newer stuff that's coming out for reviews and such. So moved on from 24, getting ready for 25, and a record that comes in relatively late in the year, especially I don't get my physical copy until 2025. It kind of can go by the wayside. So let's put this on here. So I guess the tagline on this was wild ass vocals from this project. They had a release previously in 2016, I want to say. And it was well received, kind of went silent for a while. Anyway, really cool guitar work, and I think that's kind of the highlight of this band. They have members that are in White Magician, which is a really cool trad project. This is on Gates of Hell Records. But yeah, I think probably this one, I think, got some good reviews and good press, but just coming out so late in the year, probably need to spend more time with it, kind of deal. The vocals though are just so off the wall. So Logan Satan, S-A-T-O-N, or Satin, Satone. This is his guitar part. Right now I'm in the midst of trying to buy the new, I would say, I want to pick up a new copy of the Venator album, Psychodrome, I think it's called. Anyway, I look for a review that I'm going to do for Heavy Metallurgy on that record because I got the promo. I've been listening to it sort of sparingly, getting ready for the actual review, but this is one that you kind of, like I mentioned, would get missed. So before I probably get a chance to sit down and spend a lot of time with that new Venator release, probably should spend more time with Master of the Games from Demon Bitch. Okay, so this is the one that came out in 2024. Let's get to some relatively recent records that have come out. Woo. Through a Warren of Shadow by Acid. I mean, how old is this? On Pulverized Records. That cake is pushing some air around my room there. Yeah, do you remember this at all? This was did they come out with a full length after this? But man, I haven't listened to this in forever, right? Here's, I guess, the point of the exercise. Let me see what they've been up to. So I guess the story was a bunch of Andrew Lee playing bass guitars, Pierce Williams doing the drums on this. Apparently, Metal Archives is not pleased, but I remember enjoying this. Got a badass dragon there on the front. Whatever. Probably nothing revolutionary, but I always thought that Pierce Williams was a kick-ass drummer. Interesting production. Anyway, like one of the tons of metal records back when this came out, around 2019, 2020, I think. 2020. It kind of felt like, man, I don't want to miss out, but I haven't really pulled out this off the shelf in recent years. That probably just has to do with my sort of general fatigue on this kind of stuff. But yeah, okay, so let's move on from some death metal there. I don't know, like, this might make it into a VCLT one of these days. I still like it, but, you know, it doesn't feel like at this point, now 5 years later, like, an essential listen for me. I mean, I like Andrew Lee, and I really enjoy Pierce Williams' drumming, but, like, there's probably other death metal records from 2020 that I would, you know, put on top of this, right? Nevertheless, like, solid offering. Metal Archives is swinging it at 58% as of March 17, 2025. I think that's a little bit too cold, but nevertheless. Okay, let's move on from this acid. This band's called Deep Tomb, kind of a sludge doom project. It looks like out of Los Angeles. Another 2020 release that has got buried in my. This is an EP. Got buried in my collection. also write notes in terms of like the kind of tuning that I like, right, from Sludge. It sounds like aggressive and coarse enough. Another release here that came out in, looks like, December of 2020. Sometimes, I don't know if anyone does this. Let me know in the comments if you have this practice as a record collector or a music buyer. Like, I feel this arbitrary need to like round out the subgenres by the end of the year. Like, man, you know, I spent a lot of time, whatever, picking up black metal. I haven't picked up enough power metal this year. I know they're out there. And I like will spend the closing few months of every year sort of scouring, you know, digging deeper into other genres that maybe I haven't spent enough time with. So I wonder if 2020, this is just a product of me like getting to somewhere in October, November, and I hadn't found anything, and so I spent all of December like thinking, you know what, I need to buy a couple of Sludge records just to sort of round out the year. It's completely meaningless. It's collective scum BS that I end up doing, but or like maybe an end of year list comes along and it's like, oh man, of course, there was the Sludge EP that I felt I needed. So like an asshole, I go ahead and buy a release of something just to round out my year for perfect reasons. But anyway, there we go. It's something a little bit different. It doesn't take much to get me to whatever, throw $20 plus $8 in shipping, whatever, on a problem. But nonetheless, this is not bad. I'm happy, right? So far, after everything, like I knew Demon Bitch was going to be good. Kind of underwhelmed by this app. It's still good, but right now that looks like to be the loser of the bunch. So let's move on to some older stuff that I have no idea what they sound like. This is an interesting start. Man, so I don't know how this ended up on my CD shelf. I mean, look at that album artwork, pretty obscure, nondescript. Saved a few quarters in the art department there. I guess some stuff for you to look inside. But... okay, what the hell is this? This is one of those, like, the beginning few minutes of this just make me feel I need a new hobby. Okay, so Nivathe, spelled Nivathe. And it's like probably something I added to a Discogs cart after a positive Black Doom and Noise. This album's called Enveloped in a Diseased Abyss from 2008. Put out on Bubonic Doom. It's kind of dope. Writhing Collapsed Flesh is the name of this track, and it is 18 minutes long. I'm not gonna do that to you here. Man, You know, that sounds somewhere between like almost like an industrial element of black metal meets drone. It was on for 44 minutes, 4 tracks. Let's see what the next track, Veins of Death and Hunger, have to offer. Vocal performance there. That's awesome. That sounds like they're programmed drums, just like how enormous the kick is. Anyway, well, we've spent enough time with this one. Man, I don't know, like, I'm gonna leave this one out because I have to gear up for that listen. Right? How much do I hate myself today? And can I find a record to mirror that sympathy? Okay. Well, that's, whew. You know, I probably bought it. It was a super inexpensive purchase. And I told myself that I would save on the shipping cost or whatever. And I was going to discover this hidden gem. 100% that's what this is. I don't know, that's a wild. Like, every once in a while I'll get hungry for something super adventurous, but that is a dark place to climb into. Out of Houston, Texas. Anyway, so let's move on to something a little bit different in terms of tone there. Okay, so interesting story about this. This is total blind buy while I was in Portland. And this is a Silver Mountain Shaken Brains. This is a Metal Blade release, so that was the first thing that grabbed me. One, the band photo is exceptional. So congrats to these gentlemen. this guy's face. Anyway, and that's a very slender headband. I don't know how we can say about headbands, but guy over here. Anyway, maybe a little bit of eyeshadow going on. But okay, where I wanted to get to was one, I bought this like, okay, it's an old school Metal Blade release. I'm interested. This is looks like from '86. Let me just double check that. But doing reviews for Heavy Metallurgy, like I think Regain Records has just recently repressed this, and it was sitting in it's been sitting in our promo section. Yeah, Shaken Brains '83. Wow. So out of Sweden, so early Swedish traditional heavy metal, and it looks like this initially was released in Roadrunner, and man, I'm trying to find which actual press this was. So Metal Blade, it looks like, released it in '83 as well. Yeah. So it's obviously, right, like, kind of beat up a little bit, but it still sounds pretty decent. Anyway, so it was like sitting in the promo thing that we have for Heavy Metallurgy, and I hadn't touched it. I just like that. I have a physical copy. I have an original 1983-84 press of this on Metal Blade sitting in my collection, and I still haven't listened to it. The total just buy the album artwork and band photos. Like, what do we think? It's all right. but probably very early Swedish metal. Probably have to go back and watch the Swedish heavy metal episode that on Heavy Metallurgy. But anyway, here we go. We pulled it off the shelf. We finally gave it a listen. Like, I'm happy I have it. I need to spend some real time with it. I don't know that much about the earliest Swedish bands. I definitely should. Breathing into mics always a good thing. Anyway, hell yeah. You can cross it off the list. I don't have to worry about what this sounds like, or I can avoid all the questions as to whether the blind buy was worth it or not. Okay, let's do one more of I have no idea what I'm getting myself into and why do I own this. What do we think of this? So, man, it's a little warm. So, okay. I'm fairly certain I got this. I put in an order to the distro that Pat over at Ground Zero Salem has. Is it still Ground Zero Salem? He hasn't changed that, I don't think. Okay, anyway, I think he's kept the name. But I put in an order, whatever, and I think, so I remember purchasing this dripping, which is kind of like this weird tech death thing going on in, I think this is a compilation, Bring Thy Suffering. But I was like, okay, I recognize that. I'll throw that in the cart and bring it home. I think this is actually pretty well known. I think this may have been something that he threw in there as a little addition. I don't know what this is, but yeah, let me see if I can find something about this band. Yeah, from '94. This is where Structures is on Napalm. Yeah, I mean, like, would you say this sounds Swedish? I guess so. It kind of sounds a little thrashy to me. Yeah, but cool. Kind of rounds that out for my selection here of. Anyway, I'll let this carry us out. But thank you to Mercyful Metal for starting this thread. Encouraged me to bring some things off the shelf that I have never even listened to. Some of these once. You know, out of them, like, one, if someone else would be better suited for some of these, like, they'll go into a BCLT and I know why I'm throwing them in there without giving them even a chance to remain in my collection. It's one of those things where, like, some of these were justifiable purchases, some were gifts, some were recommendations, some were a product of my collector scum personality that ended up coming home with me. But anyway, this was fun. Hope you all enjoyed this. Something super quick, easy. Hopefully I brought you along for the ride. Anyway, see you guys later.